Hey, Rebels. All right, so I am hearing that it is a family affair and that family matters. And for whatever reason, anytime I press play, my voice just gets to, my that throat chakra just gets to disturbance. But whichever, you know how we do, we push through. So there is a family matter. And I have no clue what these cards are under here. I'll explain them in a moment, I think. Anyway, we just gonna go with the flow and go with the channel. Anyway, um, so there is a family affair, a family matters, family matters in this situation scenario. We gonna see how, what, you over here, whatever the opposing is here, and this is the in between. Um, that is that has left you just unbothered. I just glanced down at the cards because I pulled everything out and just set them down. I saw them, but it's like, okay, but yes, that has left you unbothered. All right. Um, let's see. Can before we get to flipping over anything, is there any little extra tidbit? Oh, because you are birthing. Because you are birthing new projects. And you've done everything that it is that you can possibly do. Now we can show this one. That other one is a little up close. Yep, and commitment again. And you are committed. You were committed to doing everything that you possibly could to resolve whatever this matter was. But you were so committed that you resolved this matter. It seems by just separating yourself and handling what you need to. Looking towards your fortune, looking at your responsibility, your obligations, what you need to manage, what you need to balance, what you may even need to budget. It didn't matter. So let's look at you. No, let's look at the in between. Okay, so alignment with chakras. And okay, all right. Once again, no liabilities, looking at the loopholes, reading the fine print. Okay, that's a safe, very strong reason for whatever this is. Either which way, you're completely committed. Overall energy, we are looking at you. We are not gonna be invasive and tap into the other party or parties energy unless spirit wants us to see it. But overall, all we can do is focus on ourselves, because sometimes it's trickery that you can reflect on a situation and the possibilities of a person and what they may be thinking, what they feel, what was their reason behind whatever it is that they chose in that moment, or however they reacted, right? It's such trickery to get caught up in that space and realize how you then create expectations in your head of how conversations will go, or about next move, or if you do this then they possibly may do that. It's very easy to get trapped in that. So your discernment is very well needed. So love spell, travel, and trusted. So you believe that there has been energy leeching off of you. There's been energy leeching. There's been spells, curses, energy projection, so much shot your way in your direction, things that were made to believe, the make believe, the things that were made to believe of who you were, and that you were not moving and were not able to be yourself, so long as whatever this is was around. And obviously it's already telling you so much here. There was an image of you that was being focused on your identity that you could not commit to, that disturbed your peace. All right, let's and you weren't aligned with it. So, okay. Mm, mm, okay. All right, all right, all right. I'm getting a lot here. So the conflict that you could not align with, that made it impossible for you to be yourself, that projected so much on you. Family matters, family affair, family matters. The indecisiveness, the connery, the manipulation, the spitefulness, the envy, the jealousy, the masquerades, the normalizations of the back and forth and instability. And it's interesting to have a masculine and a priestess said to be feminine here. The nurturing abilities that you received were subjected to the identity that you felt that it would be. So therefore, since this was baseline of your conditioning and your introduction into the world, the acceptance of karmic masculine energy was something that you had to see as normal in order to survive. Something that reflects like you knew how to play it safe, though you did not realize that that's what you were doing. And potentially so, yes, at the beginning and more so towards the end, you realized how it was. You're still in it, even because you're undoing your understanding of so much that has been branched off and tied to these beliefs, these said ways of this is how we do things, those unspoken ways of this is how we do things. That television was just a facade, that was not an option of how actual people lived, or that their way of living in ways that was not normal for your situation was due to privilege, and a privilege that you were told that you would never measure up to. The disrespect of your intelligence, the disrespect of your mental growth was violated in so many ways, that spiritually and down here in the 3D, so much should have been done differently. So for you to move over and move right along and say that you're, and not even say, live a life of reparenting yourself with this birth card, redeveloping yourself and your identity, who you are, what you choose to focus your energy on, who it is that you are discovering that you are capable and able and willing to become. What is a masquerade ball without the mask, right? And you've lived such a life that you have that potential to wear so many masks, because you have so many masks hanging on your wall as if they were trophies, which they actually are. You refuse to take them down and you dust them off, and you may wear them behind your walls, within your safety, within your security. And sometimes you need to pull them out, like, Batman and his many different versions and costumes, right? So what is it that Spirit would like for you to focus on in your proceeding forward? King of Swords. Page of Swords. And two from the middle. Okay, all right. So let's move these down like this. Okay, excuse me, work with me. Okay, now move that one up. Okay, that's beautiful. I like that, like that. I like it like that. All right. And this is extra. Oh, yes. So straight out the middle. Straight out the middle. Nine of Swords. This is everything that you have endured and that you continue to endure and that you continue to find yourself discovering about yourself and learning about yourself and how you interact with others based upon how you have been maintaining to interact with this Page of Swords energy, this gossiping energy, this I know how, and they're so in a rush to just have that title and that authority, when in fact you have in ownership, even when you were enduring all of this that you knew not of, because you were collecting information, you were archiving the facts, the false, the falsities, the facts of the false of the facts. You were documenting everything. And now these things are coming up to be a surplus to who it is that you are becoming in your identity. So all those harsh nights, those times of praying, those times of breaking down, those times of feeling that and realizing how broken you were and you had to piece yourself together. And I heard this concept before. It's like if you break a vase and then you glue it back together, there's going to be particles and little chips around that did not get glued back, or that were too small, too minor, too minuscule to glue back. And yes, you could, you can do the whole, what is it? What do you call it? I don't know, something like upholstering it. And it's different. It's new. It's still there. The structure is still there, and any add-ons that come along with the benefits of the incidents, as harsh as that sounds, just creates you to be anew and creates you to be more beautiful. How releasing tears are, and I'm seeing like this bottle right here, this medicine bottle. I'm feeling someone who has had addictions. And these addictions, oh my goodness. These addictions, these codependencies, these ways of coping with excuse. You can see how it was all that you knew how to detach, to ignore, to have some sense of something that seemed familiar as peace, as you've been able to recognize it in those times. Disconnecting yourself to, that was the best peace that you could manage for yourself. Anything that would help to drown it out. But then you realized how that kept you there. How being codependent on those coping skills, on those coping mechanisms, on those venting quests, the departures of it all. You saw how that kept you connected. So whether it was a sexual attachment where you went celibate and you picked apart yourself and you realized the reasons behind the time that you were so engaged in those activities and the extents that you went, or binge drinking, or taking pills, or manipulation tactics just to watch somebody else be reactive and it finally not be you, or any form of self-abuse that can also be considered as abuse onto others, because your abuse onto yourself always extends to others. It misleads others. So I'm going to say definitely, most definitely, this King of Swords energy, though you are standing stern on your morals, on your values, you got King of Swords, unbothered, commitment twice. I do everything. I did everything. Let's change that. Though you've been so stern, forgive yourself. Continue to invest in forgiving yourself. Okay, one more from the middle. Yep. Looking at this now with the Lovers. And you know what? Yep, you're right, Spirit. We're going to set the Lovers right over here. You're masculine. Your masculine, your karmic masculine is being met with the High Priestess that brings in this loving connection and tie with yourself. You see how it's two flames here, twin flames, soul mates, whatever you want to call it, the yin yang, them touching each other's hearts and looking deep into each other's soul. The fruitful nature that this Lover's card is, nothing standing over them. Complete resilience. I am reading right now. And honey, Spirit said, and that's all, folks. Maybe one or two more cards. But the 8 of we got some more want to show both. So we got the 8 of Wands coming in quick, beating off these dogs, right? Nobody's gonna take your anything. You done broke your sandals, hopped out of your sandals to handle this business. You ain't scared no more. Even if you look scared, you ain't scared no more. And with the Emperor energy, gotta love it, gotta love it, gotta love it. To go from a karmic masculine to a Page of Swords, to have to stand in the resilience of your King of Swords, not in competition, very stern on what is going to be and what is not going to be, a true leader. Dressed for the occasion, spotlight and attention all on you, speaking in authority. Came prepared and well equipped despite all that you've been through. Honey, I'm hearing Courage the Cowardly Dog, Scooby-Doo. I would have got away with it if it wasn't for them meddling kids. Split the deck. Celestial assistance. There is something that is, let me get in some good light. All right. Let me see. There is something that is of the trusting power of the divine force. Gentle guidance towards where you should be. Stick with it and see where it takes you. Continue on. Stick with it. You got to stick. Continue on. Share a memory with yourself, about the strength. Every night, every morning, regardless of what it is that you feel of energy that genuinely is no longer yours of the present, but is yours of the present because it's a gifted memory of you remembering how far you have come and how much further you are willing to go. Honey, Accept the help. Yin Moon. Accept the help. Accept the help. So, Rebels, I love you so much. I am so proud of you despite where you are on this journey. I am so proud of you because to have made it this far, to listen, to hear the changes that you have yet to make and the changes that you would like to see and the changes that you have created and that you have developed, and notice the work regardless on whatever part of the spectrum the work needs to be done. Be proud of yourself. Rebel on.